Good evening, everyone. It's now time to talk about the Panchayat polls in West Bengal, as it's truly time to call out the unprecedented violence in West Bengal since the Panchayat polls were declared till voting day. So I must say, kudos to all opposition candidates who fought against a clearly partisan state election commission and the state machinery. Close to 60 lives have gone in vain and hundreds injured in this charade of a free and fair election. Booth capturing, ballots being thrown into the pond, guns, goons, arson. Someone even chewed ballot papers? Where exactly are we headed? What West Bengal just witnessed can easily be termed as one of its darkest chapters of history. After dithering over appointing the election commissioner and setting the ball rolling for the Panchayat elections for over a year, the ruling party decided to send its All India General Secretary to test the waters of rural Bengal. The Crown Prince went on a tour of rural Bengal, traveling in fancy vehicles and putting up in luxury tents. Once the outreach program was done, the State Election Commissioner was appointed, who within one day of his appointment declared the dates for the Panchayat election. Mamata Banerjee, on the other hand, had an inkling about people's anger and dissatisfaction with the ruling TMC because of its humongous corruption perpetrated by them in implementation across various central and state welfare schemes. She knew that the ground was slipping from under her feet. She was also aware that in spite of her best efforts, BJP was unable to consolidate its organization in rural Bengal, whereas the left front, led by the CPIM, was far more successful in making gains in territories that had turned hostile post-2011 elections. People in the villages were once again reposing their faith in the party that had always safeguarded their interests. As has been her tactics from the very beginning, first to gain power and then to hold on to power, her party, aided by the police and the administration, unleashed a reign of terror in the villages of Bengal. Efforts were also made by them to disallow the candidates belonging to opposition parties from filing their nomination. Candidates were bullied and coerced to withdraw their candidature. While some did give in to the ruling party, they faced tough resistance in most cases. Backed and abetted by ordinary villagers, the candidates held their ground. Faced by this resistance, the TMC fell back to violence to reverse the people's mandate. Ballot boxes were tampered with, ballot papers were torn and set on fire. Rules were not adhered to at all. Candidates of opposition parties, their polling agents and even voters were intimidated and threatened. Many were physically assaulted. Now let us talk about some incidents to give a clear picture of what exactly transpired on the counting day. Counting had come to an end at Durgapur. Pali Mangal School at Bali, Howrah, CPIM candidate had won 2 Gram Panchayat seats from Bali, 3 from Nischinda Panchayat and 1 from Durgapur 1. Number Panchayat. On realizing this, TMC workers present at the counting center snatched the ballot papers that had stamps on the CPIM symbol. They ran up to the stairs of the roof and blew them. People's mandate in favor of the Workers' Party was blowing in the wind, while the counting agents were roughed up and thrown outside the counting centers. The agents then gathered the ballot papers from the nearby lanes and drains and took them to the police, who stood and watched the entire heinous act without batting an eyelid. This was an outright loot of the people's mandate. TMC was declared the winner in all those seats that were won by the CPIM. Democracy has never been mocked in this way. In another incident at the counting center at Kumarganj High School in South Dinajpur, hundreds of ballot papers with stamps of the CPIM symbol went missing. They were found in the undergrowth behind the counting centers. Hundreds of them, 430 to be precise, all stamped. 412 had stamps of CPIM symbol and RSP. In spite of reckless violence, people of this region were determined to break the TMC versus BJP binary, and they had voted in large numbers in favor of the left front. This scared TMC because if panchayats went out of the control, the loot of resources that had perpetrated over the last decade would be suddenly halted. Patoli Kisan Mandi, where counting for booth 228 of East Bardhaman Purbashali Gram Panchayat was witness to a similar incident. CPM candidate Maria Bibi was made to lose to the Trinamool candidate by only 3 votes. Later, quite a few ballot papers were found outside the counting center. Incidentally, each of these ballot papers had the stamp of the CPM symbol. In this shockingly undemocratic way, TMC has overturned the mandate of the people to defeat the CPM candidate. Now let us turn our gaze to Purulia district now. SRBP High School, which is situated as Santuri block, is the block sector office cum strong room cum counting center. The people's mandate lay here scattered on the floor, and here again 90% of these ballot papers had stamps of the CPM symbol. 2 days after counting was over, the villagers found the ballot papers. Police was intimated and they arrived and immediately got into damage control mode. They asked the villagers to hand over the ballot papers to the administration, but people went unwavered. They gherowed the block office and stuck to the demand of a repoll. A CPM candidate from Jangipara in Hooghly district decided not to take these misconducts of TMC lying down. Ballot papers with stamps of the CPM symbol were found scattered on the road. The candidate collected those ballot papers from the road and headed straight to Calcutta High Court. Based on his complaint, Justice Amrita Sinha summoned the BDO of Jangipara. She has also asked for the list of names of those in charge of the booth at DS High School. On the election day, Mamata Banerjee's police had barged into the local CPM office and they beat up several party activists without any provocation. Well, we are not surprised here. A TMC candidate ate the ballot papers and made it to the headlines of all leading newspapers. He did it to prevent a CPM candidate from winning. This incident happened at Habra in North 24 Parganas. CPM candidate of Bhorkunda Gram Panchayat, Rabindranath Majumdar, was leading by a few votes. At this juncture, the TMC candidate Mahadev Mati pounced upon the ballot box, snatched a bunch of ballot papers with stamps of the CPM symbol, and started chewing the ballot papers. The local administration lost no time in declaring the TMC candidate as winner, but unyielding attitude of CPM and ISF candidates forced the administration to buckle under pressure. Repoll was ordered. The next incident, which occurred at Nanda Kumar block in East Midnapur, is straight out of a detective novel. Just as counting, the Gram Panchayat was about to begin at Sri Rampur High School, room number 10, it was discovered that the ballot papers had been changed. The number of the ballot boxes used for polling did not match with the number of the ballot boxes brought for counting. Moreover, they did not have the signature of either of the presiding officer nor the polling agent. When the CPM agents present at the counting centers created a brouhaha, the BDO was forced to show them the CCTV footage. And here, it was discovered that the ballot boxes used at the polling stations had the signatures of the presiding officers and the polling agents. Therefore, the boxes were changed either en route to the counting center or in the strong rooms. In another incident at Nanda Kumar, BDO Shanu Bakshi played the role of a TMC activist. The number of votes cast in a booth is mentioned in form number 18. Interestingly, the ballot box brought to the counting center had many more votes than mentioned in form number 18. The box did not have any seal. It had neither the signature of the presiding officer nor the polling agents. In spite of so many anomalies in the ballot boxes, the BDO ordered that counting of votes from these boxes will have to be done. He rejected a few votes and then he said 75% of those extra votes should go in favor of TMC and the rest 25% can be divided amongst all the other opposition parties. Now, Mamata Banerjee is scared. She is scared because the matter has reached the Calcutta High Court. The court might now ask for all the relevant documents. So now the police has become hyperactive and vigilant. Government officers and the police, along with the TMC musclemen, are visiting the houses of opposition candidates and polling agents of opposition parties to collect the signatures on the attendance sheets used at the counting centers. With 50-odd deaths, what West Bengal has just experienced during the Panchayat election is nothing short of murder of our democracy. Unbridled vote loot, rigging and violence marred what should have been a celebration of democracy at the grassroots. The administration and the police have been used shamelessly to manipulate people's mandate. But ruling TMC also faced resistance from the common villagers who fought tooth and nail to establish People's Panchayat. A rumbling has begun in rural Bengal, which does not augur well for Mamata Banerjee and her party. People are no longer willing to take injustice and oppression lying down. The fight back has begun. The juggernaut